It's been a very nice journey, I should say. Uh, I have learnt a lot of things along with the children uh, who have come through this journey with us. So when I say it's been the 14th year already now, so you can imagine the first batch of children that came in with us. The child, I met the child recently and he's in 10th standard now. So he has, little small mustache happening and that awkward period. Okay, do you say ma'am? Do you say auntie? Kind of a period happening and all that. So I know how it is with children when they need to settle down in any place, especially so when it comes to the settling period, when the child starts something new, be it the first day at school, the first day with a play group or anything. So the settling period for the child is very, very important. So there are a few things that parents can keep in mind while making sure or ensuring that the child settles down with minimal disturbance in the child's mind. So the first and foremost is the routine. It's very important that the child gets into a routine even before the D-Day. So for example, in case the school starts on 1st of June, so at least 20 days or a month prior to that, there has to be a routine that has to be in place. So the parents have to work backwards. So like for example, you have to, in case of a preschool child, the toddler needs to be given 20 minutes as a time frame for each of the activity. So if it is brushing the teeth, 20 minutes, taking bath, 20 minutes, doing the big job, 20 minutes, feeding, 20 minutes, all that, 20 minutes for each of the things that you would want the child to do. So keeping that in mind, you will have to work backwards. So in case the child needs to get ready at 8:30, you need to start a month prior to make the child get up by 7 or 7:30, depending on how much time you kind of calculate. Because it's very important that on the day of the school, here in this example, that the child is also relaxed. Otherwise, as parents, we are also doing so many balancing, so many other things, and so we are getting ready for office and we want the child to be ready. There is already so much pressure on the parent, so we need the child also not to have that much pressure. So this is the settling, the routine needs to be set even in school. So we at school, what we do is we make sure that there is a routine set. Some parents come and tell us that my child is crying, why don't you take him out? Yeah, today we take him out. What about tomorrow? We will not be taking the child out tomorrow. So we do not want the child to get into a routine where every day we are doing a different activity. So it's very important that the child knows that, okay, now we are singing the national anthem. After this we are going to be playing some games and then we are going to be doing rhymes. So the child knows that this is the transition into this. So that's when the routine plays a very important role. So the next thing would be getting to know the teacher. So it's very important getting to know the environment, the teacher, everything. So it's very important for the child to know what he is getting into. And you as parent also need to know that you are comfortable, or you have to picturize your child doing the things that he or she would do. So the meeting the teacher would be a very good idea. That's when we have open houses even before the school starts. So that's when you take the child and make him accustomed to the teacher, and you can take the child around the school, give him a tour of, say, as simple as a restroom, because you need to know, and the child needs to know, what if I need to go susu now? So that's when the child is more comfortable. So get to know the teacher, and also what another thing that you can do is, put in the teacher into your conversations. So for example, when you go to school, Arya teacher is going to give you so many toys you can play with and things like that. So weave in the teacher into your conversation. It should not be a separate conversation. Your teacher is this and you need to do this with the teacher. It should not be that. Through your conversation, we've been saying tomorrow you're going to be going to school and you're going to be getting so many toys. Arya teacher is going to be giving you this. You can sit with her. When you want to go to the toilet, you can tell her, and things like that. So I mean, and also at this point I'd like to mention, do not keep asking the child, when you go to school will you cry? Obviously the child will cry. She or he is going to tell you, yes, I'm going to cry. So what will you do then? So instead of that, you tell the child that when you go to school you can play. So positive reinforcement is very necessary. So getting to know the teacher is another thing. And the third thing is maybe read books which involve school. There are so many books, Frankenstein and Franklin Goes to School and Peppa Pig and things. All these books, Clifford the Big Red Dog. So all these books, there are instances where the character in the book goes to school. So when you're reading these books to the child already knows that, okay, this is something that everybody does. So it's better that it will be a good idea to read books with the child. So it's an activity by itself and also gets the child accustomed to the idea. The next thing is the novelty factor. It's always nice, even when we need to go to something new, say a new job, or we are meeting new people, we would always like to go in something that we are happy with, the novelty factor. So go buy tiffin boxes or water bottle. It should be a activity that you go do together. So ask the child, do you like red or do you like blue or pink or whatever. So take a new bag if that's possible, buy a new tiffin box. So child is also excited to go to school thinking, okay, these are new things that I'm going to be carrying. So that excites the child. So that is one more thing that can be done. The next thing is, we as parents are very, very curious to know what happens in the class. So whenever there is an opportunity given, we would like to peep in. So which is not a very good idea, because the child, if she gets to know that you're wanting to look at what she or he is doing, then there might be a thought in the child's mind, thinking, does my mother not trust the teacher or trust the person that I am with? So I don't think it should be done. Always keep goodbye short. The longer you stretch, the more the child is going to feel uncomfortable. So just say, okay, you're going in now, bye then, and keep moving. Don't, you go in now, be careful. Don't ramble off so many instructions to the child. If you want to go susu, please tell the teacher. If you're hungry, call the helper. And don't do that. The child can adapt. Of course, you might want to talk about it at home, not while you're going inside. The separation anxiety is already there with the child. So I don't think we need to make it more elaborate. So just say a short bye and just leave the place before the child can actually start thinking too much. So let them face what they're getting into with a fresh mind. So we've had so many instances where the child, while coming with the mothers especially, is very emotional. But the minute they shift from the parent dropping and they use the van facility that has been given by the school, the child is completely settled. That's because the separation anxiety gets done at home itself. So the child is already prepared to get into the class without too much hesitation, because he or she knows that that's where they are headed to. So keep goodbye short. And never lie to the child. Never say, Mama will be here only, okay, you go in, you play and all that. Never lie. Say in case they have an outdoor play activity and they come out, you're not there. So how is it going to affect the child? The child is going to be very, very upset. All the time that the child is inside, he's thinking that, okay, my mother is outside. And that actually works in a reverse way also. More so because if you have told the child that you're going to wait outside and the child is taken in, see, she or he is going to be thinking, my mother is out and yet I need to go in with this lady. Why am I being subject to this kind of, torture, if you can call it that? So it's going to play a negative impact on the child's mind. So never lie to the child. You can definitely tell the child saying, you go in, you play, I'm going to go home, come back and pick you up after a while. Or I'm going to go to the market, pick up something, by that time you will finish your playing, then you can come back with me, we'll both go home together. So something like that. It's never lie to a child about what is happening. It's very important that the child understands. And we might think that children are too young to understand these things, but no, we are. I have seen myself, my sister is always, telling her son whatever they are doing. So it is a learning for me there also. So, it does make a lot of difference if the child knows what is happening around him. So this is one thing. Do not compare children. We see so many people doing that because we've been brought up that way. But as much as possible, do not compare children. So many times we've seen that parents say, see, Rohan settled down, why are you still crying? But why do you want to compare your child to Rohan or Pragati or whoever? In case you really want to compare your child, compare him to himself. So from the child's own past performance. Say for example, today Disha, you were so good today. Yesterday you were better. Why don't you be like how you were yesterday? So you did not cry and Mama is really happy about that. So compare the child to her own past experiences instead of comparing him to another child. So then the child has to live up to your expectation from Rohan's point of view. Okay, the child will be thinking, okay, Rohan settled down, should I settle down now? Now tomorrow Rohan cries, the child will be thinking, now Rohan is crying, should I also cry? So it's very important that you do not compare children. It affects their thinking and it does not do them any good. So never compare children. And also most importantly, do not use school and teachers as threats. I have seen parents, they say, you don't finish what is there in your dabba, I am going to complain to your teacher. And what is the teacher supposed to do? From the parent's point of view, does that mean the child needs to get scared of the teacher and quickly gobble up what is there in the tiffin box? No. So in case you really want to use the teacher or school as a consequence to something that the child is not doing, it has to be in a positive way. Saying that, see, if you do not eat your food, I am going to ask the teacher, I am going to tell the teacher and the teacher will be very upset, she will not give you toys to play with. Or I will not let you meet the teacher tomorrow. I will not send you to school tomorrow if you do not finish this. So school is something that they need to look forward to. Not say, okay, school is something that I want to be scared about. That feeling should not be there. School is not jail and teacher is not a villain. So we should stop using. So many times it happens that if the child is misbehaving, I will send you to hostel. For sure next year I am going to send you to hostel. Hostel is a nice place to send your children to. Especially I have heard parents come back and talk such positive things. It builds the confidence, and it helps them start with the self help, all these things. So again, hostel is not a bad place. So if you really want to use something against the child, it has to be in a positive way. So these are the few things that you can do to make sure that children get settled in, especially when it is the first day of their school.